Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I've just purchased a new impact driver, and I went with a Bosch impact driver again, like my previous impact driver, which was from the Bosch Home and Garden range, but this one is from the professional range. It's the blue one, and the old Home and Garden is the green one. So I wanted to upgrade my impact driver for a couple of reasons. Number one, I wanted a brushless motor that's supposed to be more reliable and more efficient, and I wanted something with a little bit more power and something that may last a bit longer as well. So there's nothing wrong with the Home and Garden range. I really like this range, but when I looked at currently at if there's any impact drivers that they do that are brushless, I couldn't find one apart from a kind of hybrid combi-dual impact driver model. So I decided to get myself a pro range. I do quite a lot of DIY and projects often, so I thought it was probably a good idea to get this. So if you're in the same boat as me and you're considering whether to do sort of go down the DIY route or the pro route kind of thing, different markets, you might want to know what the differences are. So in this video I'm going to go through what the differences are between these two types of drill. Now I know that it's not a like for like comparison. This is a brushed model, this is brushless, and I know that this has more power and it will probably perform better, but it's still worth noting all the differences when you're going to make a purchase. So I hope you find this video useful, and if you do, please remember to like and subscribe. So with these impact drivers, the professional range is kind of aimed towards tradesmen and people who use the tool frequently. It's built a bit more heavy duty with a lot of work in mind. The Home and Garden range is also well built, but it's designed more for the DIYer, for the occasional user, for someone who's not using it on a daily basis. So it's not quite as robust and powerful as the professional range. Okay, so let's start off by taking a look at these two impact drivers side by side. This is the Home and Garden range one, the green one. The blue one is the professional range. So just starting off at the top, the profile of the tops here, and you can see the pro range is much shorter and stubbier in length. So the professional impact driver, the top measures around 12 centimeters in length, and the Home and Garden range impact driver measures about 15.5 centimeters in length. So this might be good if you want to get into a nice tight spot to drive a screw in. The Home and Garden one is a bit long, so that might be something to consider if you want to get into tight spots. Saying that, it's not overly long. I think this one just makes it look long because this one is quite stubby and short. The motors, the professional range one is a brushless motor. That makes it a bit more energy efficient, and you don't get the sparks in here that you can see, and it shouldn't heat up like a brushed motor. So the Home and Garden has a brushed motor. You can just see the sparks in there from the brushes. Another thing to note. So looking at kind of the height of these two, they're pretty much the same, almost identical in height. The professional impact driver is around 23 centimeters in height. The Home and Garden impact driver is around 21 to 22 centimeters in height. If you take a look at the sides, the profile on the professional range drill is more upright, and the one on the Home and Garden is kind of angled more, and I think that's to give it a better balanced feel in the hand because of where the weight is in the motor, but I'm not sure. So both of them have a nice feel to them. This one has a nice ergonomic grip to it, and so does this one. But if I had to say which felt better in the hand, I would say the professional range. They both have rubberized grips. They both have kind of rubber protection against the motor area here. One obvious difference is that this has a work light and this one doesn't. We can take a look at the batteries. The Home and Garden uses the Power for All range of battery, which you can use in different devices, and the professional range uses the standard Bosch 18 volt. The triggers are pretty much the same also, both red, and they have the back and forwards and lock on them. And when we look at these drivers from the back, you can see the brushless motor is quite chunky here, and the brushed motor on the Home and Garden is quite slim. Another difference here is on the professional impact driver you can add a belt clip which comes provided with the impact driver, and on the Home and Garden range you can't. So now I'm going to do a weight test. They both have the equivalent batteries, so they both have 2 amp hour batteries for a fair test. So I'm going to start off with the Home and Garden range. With the battery, that weighs in at 1.275 kilograms, so 1,275 grams. The professional range, that weighs in at 1.396 kilograms, so 1,396 grams. So the professional range is slightly heavier than the Home and Garden. So now I'm going to do a comparison of these two, driving in a large screw into a piece of wood to see which one does better. I think it's safe to say that the professional range will do better, but it'll be interesting to see just how far behind this one actually falls, if at all. And I don't think it's a fair comparison to do kind of a battery test on these to see which one can hold out the longest, because this is a brushed motor and this is brushless, so it's a bit of an unfair comparison. If they were both brushless, I would do a test for that, but this is more of a power test just to see which one has the better power. We already know that the professional range does have more torque, so it should be that this will drive a screw in quicker than this, but we don't know how much faster, so let's take a look at that now. Right, so these screws are 10 centimeter screws, so fairly big screws, and they're quite thick. Okay, so that's about it for the comparison, and it's clear that the professional range impact driver is significantly more powerful than the Home and Garden range. Saying that, the Home and Garden range will do plenty of jobs that you need it to do, maybe just slightly slower. I've used this drill myself for over a year, and I think it's a great drill, and it hasn't broken yet. It's in excellent condition. So if you'd like to see a review on this home and garden impact driver, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below. So I think this has been a fair comparison to see what the differences are, and if you're looking at buying maybe a more expensive driver, just to see, well, what the differences are and is it worth it for you. So for me, I think it's worth it. I need something that does is a bit more reliable long term, has a bit more power, and has a kind of smaller head that'll be really useful for things I do. Weight wise, they're pretty much the same weight. There's only a slight difference in it. It's not really worth noting a slight difference. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And if you have any more tips or any more differences on these drills that you know I haven't mentioned, please mention them in the description box below. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.